The world's greatest podcast in America, John Reed, Cody McClure, Super Bowl Monday. I must bend the knee to Cody. He's been telling me for months the Chiefs were going to win the Super Bowl. And wouldn't you know it, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
I'm doing
How are you,
good,
Cody?
John. Doing good. How are you? It's good to be here. Good to be anywhere, I guess. Haven't used that on the podcast.
Well, you are anywhere. You are in California. I am in Tennessee, but the internet has brought us
Well, you
together.
sound good. I'm doing pretty good. It's a beautiful day here, about 66 degrees and sunny. So, beautiful day to be alive. I can't complain.
It's about 50 degrees and rainy here.
Well, it's that time of the year, I guess, January.
And my stress is through the roof. If you say I sound good, if when this podcast comes out, if I do not sound good, I may give up. I went back to Best Buy, bought some new stuff. I've got an Ethernet cord running through my living room. I bought a 15-foot extension cord / power outlet, I guess, to give me some extra plugins. I got all these cords running here. And hopefully I got a box around my microphone. I'm speaking into a cardboard box, hoping it'll help from the sound being muffled. So if I sound shitty this time, it might not just be in the cards for me to be a podcaster.
You actually sound really good, so we'll keep our fingers crossed there. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. But yeah, Super Bowl last night, Chiefs won because they just know how to win, I guess. I mean, they are officially a dynasty at this point. They become the first team in, 20 years, right? Since the Patriots in 03 and 04 to repeat, or was it 02 and 03? No, 03 and 04, because it was 20 years, to repeat as Super Bowl champions. And I got to say, I'm happy for Andy Reid, but I'm sick of the rest of them. And I'm sick of Travis Kelce. That assault on Andy Reid was egregious and terrible. He could have killed the man.
1 catch and 1 yard and 1 assault in the first half, and you could see the writing on the wall for him and Taylor. But then the second half came out and he played maybe his best half of football.
I got mad when I saw him attack Andy. Like, I don't have a problem with the Chiefs otherwise. I don't hate Mahomes. I don't hate Taylor Swift. I love Andy Reid, but Kelce, man, I'm out on Kelce at this point. I don't know what it is. That whole thing with Andy Reid made me just kind of turn on Kelce. I feel like he becomes unlikable at that point. And for a lot of people, I know the Taylor Swift stuff already made him kind of unlikable, I guess, because people are sick of that. But what did you think about what he did to Andy? He nearly killed him.
The video looks bad. The replay looks bad.
Andy could have gone into cardiac arrest right there. He almost...
I do wonder what happens if Andy Reid would have fallen down, because all he did was drop his papers. But what happens if Andy Reid goes down and actually loses his balance and falls?
Almost did. He almost did because he's top heavy. So he almost fell over. And I think the narrative would have been a little bit different. I don't know. Are people talking about it today? Is that a big deal?
No, not really. Instead, you're talking about him getting up and singing Viva Las Vegas and coming up with big catch after big catch. And then afterwards, the video of them kissing on the field, and then videos of them dancing at a Vegas nightclub or wherever they were having their party, dancing to some club remix of her songs. They're dancing and singing and kissing. So no one's canceling Travis anymore. He is a champion.
I think Taylor needs to distance herself from this guy. I'm out on the relationship. I think eventually he's going to hit her. Why does every tight end have to be a meathead? Can we not have one tight end that's not just insane party guy? First it was Gronk, now it's Kelce, and I don't have any other examples.
George Kittle's a meathead.
George Kittle looks like if a pretty girl became a caveman. He's got have you noticed that? His eyes are he's got these pretty eyes. He looks like a pretty girl that somehow morphed into a caveman. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
No, I think it checks out. You could just call him a cave woman. I imagine that's kind of how cave women looked back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know I don't think they were that big, I don't think because Because
Well, no, I don't think they were probably like 6'5" and 6'6" and 200 pounds of muscle. No, but if you take it and you put it down to size, if you draw it to scale, maybe he would kind of
would
just look
you
like
have?
that.
Do you think you would have enjoyed living in the caveman times?
I mean, you wouldn't have
Right.
known any better.
People.
Would you have thought? Would you have thought that you had it good compared to the people in front of you, the people
Yeah,
that came
I
before you?
think every generation feels that. Uh,
I mean, you would be there like, oh, my ancestors were
yeah,
monkeys.
yeah.
They eat poop.
Neanderthals. Yeah.
Yeah, like you'd be talking about them. Like, once you eventually worked out some type of language, you would think you were the smartest person of all time because you would have been. Like that's kind of the idea, right? Is that every generation is supposed to be the best of their time. I mean, that's the idea, is that you evolve and get better throughout the
Evolution
ages.
is a mystery.
So like at the time you would thought you were a genius and that the Neanderthals ahead of you, they were the morons. Of course, if you take me now, armed with the knowledge and memories of technology, no, you'd be fucking miserable. But at the time, you wouldn't know any
I
better.
do like that Geico has brought back the caveman in their ads. I was a little bit disappointed, honestly, that they didn't have like a big Super Bowl campaign with the caveman again, because they've brought him back but they're barely referencing him. I mean,
Well, do you remember the show they used to have on ABC? Do you remember that they got their own TV show?
oh yeah, yeah, I do remember something about that. I
Yeah, they had their own TV show for a while. I'm not that happy that they're back, although it did seem to be kind of a theme of the Super Bowl was nostalgia in terms of commercials. Coors Light brought the silver bullet back. Budweiser had the Clydesdales again.
I think we
The losers from Scrubs were doing more commercials
I think we
together.
could have almost projected that Budweiser was going to have the Clydesdales this year. After the whole Bud Light controversy last year, like I feel like this year we were destined for the Clydesdales to come back.
They said, "Give us Shane Gillis. We'll make the white male happy again. We will give money to Shane Gillis, and then also bring back those big ass horses, those very big muscular horses."
I liked the couch potato commercials. I thought those were pretty good. And then the Uber Eats, like forgetting things. I thought that those kind of stood out. I don't really not.
The only thing that stood out to me from the Uber Eats commercial was how old Jennifer Aniston
Yeah?
looked. She looked
Awful?
awful. I thought she looked awful. I thought that was bad
Really?
for Jennifer.
I don't know.
I mean, that's how I felt.
She usually benefits from that, like permanent youthful thing. You think it's finally faded away? Like she's how old is she?
I don't know how other people felt. I'm not a big Jennifer Aniston guy myself, but
Especially
I
after
thought
that
she looked
whole
awful.
Matthew Perry thing.
Well, they brought back David
Yeah.
Schwimmer. They had the whole Ross and Rachel thing going, so I thought it was a bad sign. He looks
Some
way better
people
than she
think
did.
that Jennifer.
Pause.
Some people think that Jennifer Aniston killed Matthew Perry, and
I don't
well,
think anyone thinks that.
I'm not saying that, but some people I've heard in circles that some people think that.
I don't think anyone thinks
No,
that.
I don't know. So you like the couch potatoes? You didn't care for that? That didn't move you?
I don't know what commercial that was.
It was.
What commercial was that? I'm not a commercial guy. You know this. I enjoyed Jenna Ortega. Walking through the aisle on the Doritos commercial because I find her to be very attractive.
Yeah, she is. It was Pluto TV that did the couch potatoes.
No recollection of that at all.
The Temu thing was annoying. The little jingle. Did you remember that? The Temu thing?
Yeah. The I guess that's like a Chinese knockoff of Amazon.
I don't know.
From my understanding,
but it probably was Chinese because it annoyed me.
I don't think you can say that with as much Chinese food I know you eat.
Chinese food yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think you can say that.
The Super Bowl, I thought, was a pretty sloppy game. I actually have some Niners fans next door, and they were hysterical.
Did they
I
break
think
anything?
so. Yeah. The people that live right next to me, I looked over there and they've got all this. They had lights up and everything. They were shooting off fireworks and shit, like when the Niners would score. And then and then there was
Nice.
a real commotion at the end. So I don't know what happened over there, but hopefully everybody's all right.
Any
No
gunshots?
gunshots, but when the fireworks go off, you kind of confuse it sometimes for gunshots. So
I wonder how mad they were every time something bad happened for their team. They kept showing Taylor Swift because I think that would have sent me over the edge.
yeah, I mean, I think it's probably good that it's over. I mean, I don't know. I don't.
I don't know if it's over. I think that she has a really good chance of being the Super Bowl halftime performer
What do
next
you
year.
think Goodell was saying to her?
I don't think. Oh, I don't know. I didn't see them talking at all, but I imagine Goodell said, "Thanks. Your
Well, there
check's in the
was
mail.
a video.
Good job by you. Sorry. The best we could do is Travis Kelce. Next time we'll try to get you a quarterback."
Yeah, there was a video going around of Goodell and Taylor Swift talking up in the booth, and some people were saying it didn't look like a pleasant conversation, which I don't know how you can say that with certainty, but I don't know. Somebody saw the commissioner, and then also Ice Spice was there. What was that about?
I think her and Taylor Swift are
Oh,
friends.
well, that makes sense that she would be in the booth then.
It was surprising though. It was kind of jarring to see her in the A list booth, but good for her. She doesn't do it for me. Not an Ice Spice guy myself.
I hope Andy's okay today.
Andy to me is the big winner out of the Super Bowl because Mahomes' his legacy is kind of already intact. But like, as far as I'm concerned, Andy Reid now he is on even footing with Bill Belichick.
I mean, he's getting close. If he's not there, he's right there.
To me, the fact that Bill Belichick didn't get a job, the fact that he was so terrible after Tom Brady, the fact Tom Brady won a Super Bowl without him, to me, Andy Reid has caught him, as far as I'm concerned. When you look at all the NFC championships he made in Philadelphia, the fact he has been good with multiple quarterbacks throughout his career, to me, that's more impressive than what Bill Belichick did just with Tom Brady, because I think everyone right now should be giving the edge to Tom Brady over Bill Belichick when it comes to the praise charts for their time in New England. Like, I don't know where you sit, but to me, it's like 65-35
Yeah, I
Brady.
mean,
Whereas Andy Reid is won with multiple quarterbacks, man. Now, does Mahomes help? Yeah, sure, I get that, but I'm not discrediting everything Bill Belichick did, but Reid has shown more without
yeah,
his
and that's a
quarterback.
whole conversation now. I mean, Patty gets his third one. Like, I think at this point, Patty's a Hall of Famer. Like, I don't know if that was debatable or, I mean, I don't know. Like, does 2 Super Bowls guarantee you a Hall of
Eh,
Fame? I don't know, but
He could retire. He could retire right now and probably be a first ballot Hall of Famer, like a shoe in, because his impact on the game, 3 Super Bowls. I mean, there's only 5 quarterbacks who
yeah,
have done that, and he's already
yeah.
done it. And of course, no one would bet that he has done at 3. Like, I think, if you look at the rest of his career, the safe bet is that he gets at least one more. But as far as Reid goes, I mean, he's only like 40 wins. I think it's like 45, 50 wins away from the all-time win record. Maybe it's 60. Maybe it's 45 away from
Well,
Belichick. He's like 60 away from the all-time win record, and he's only 65. So, like, I feel like as long as he is there at the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, you can pencil in 10
I
wins a
don't think
year. So I think there's a pretty good chance he retires as the
I
all-time
don't know if
winningest
you can
coach.
pencil in anything with Andy, given that he weighs 300 pounds and he's 65 years old. I need Andy to lose some weight. And I know that's rich coming from me, but I'm only 30, you know? You don't see a lot of guys at Andy's age and size. I mean, he's got to be 300 pounds, right?
Those let me get some of those Nuggies commercials going to hit different if he has an episode
Yeah.
anytime
And
soon. Travis Kelce bullying him and assaulting him is going to hit differently if Andy
I
Reid has
don't
a
think
medical scare.
Kelsey can come back from that for me. I mean, I would need like a personal apology to get back on board with Kelsey after that.
What about a leaked sex tape?
That'll do. Yeah, that'll do. I mean, as long as it's Taylor, obviously. I don't want Kelsey with some random girl.
What about if it's while he's with Taylor?
Yeah, I'd sign up for that drama. I mean, that would be good.
If it's just a scandal, yeah. Like if we have a leaked sex tape where he's
Yeah, and
stepping out on her.
we'd probably get a pretty good Taylor Swift album out of that too.
Well, no, she's still writing about her ex-boyfriend. Red flag. Red flag.
Do you think that Juwan Jennings would have had a case for MVP had the Niners won?
Well, I know a lot of people are saying he was a shoe-in and would have won, but I think once they got to overtime, it was probably off the table for him, unless that third down, Brock Purdy throws the ball to him, and that's the game-winning touchdown. Then he still would have gotten it. But I think McCaffrey had done enough to steal it from him had they won in overtime, assuming Jennings didn't catch the touchdown
That
to win.
game, I mean, I know it went to overtime, so it went a little bit late, but I called my mom when the game ended because, you know, she's a big football fan. She was pulling for the Chiefs. And I called her, and she sounded like she had been sleeping. I said, Mom, what'd you think about the game? And she said, the game? Yeah, what'd you think about it? She said, I'm trying to watch the end of the game. I was like, what are you talking about? The game's over. And she said, no, it's got 6 minutes left. So they had paused it somewhere in there. I said, all right, just call me after. so she
6 minutes of regulation or 6 minutes of overtime?
I think. So she was about a half an hour behind.
Do you think it was Usher's fault? Do you think something happened with Usher where they disgustedly changed the channel and it was stuck on DVR, and when she turned it back, it was something
like
that happened there?
My stepdad would do. I don't want to watch all this shit, like people dancing around and shit. No.
Well, I talked to my mother this morning, and I asked her what she thought about the halftime show, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it was fine," but all of her friends on Facebook had said it was Illuminati and the devil and all that. Dude, so that's what was going on in
there
Boomer
were people
Facebook,
like talking about the Ice Spice in the booth too. She was doing some kind of demonic symbols or some shit. Like that's the problem with the Super Bowl is you get all these lunatics that are like they think there's demon signs coming from the NFL. I'm like, what the fuck are these people talking about? But I don't know. Anyway,
did you feel old watching the halftime performance?
Had a friend of mine said that the halftime performance was a millennial's wet dream. So I thought that it was good for people around our age, you know.
Well, I know that's why I'm asking, because I felt like, 20 years ago, my parents would have been roughly the same age as we are now, and that's whenever they would have the old timers out there, like the Rolling Stones and stuff playing, and as a 13 or 14 year old, I was like, oh, I hate this shit. But I'm like, that's probably how they felt watching that 20 years ago, watching their guys sing around, because, like Usher was the soundtrack to like junior high and high school, and all the songs he played were very important songs to junior high and high school version of me
too. And Ludacris, like Alicia Keys made an appearance, and so
Ludacris brought back the afro as a fuck you to Cat Williams, because Cat Williams had talked about how he had to cut his hair to get into roles. Do you think a lot of
Gen Zers know who those, like, was that relevant at all to Gen Z? Because I don't know. I mean, I remember doing the Uber rides, and like some of that 2000s, 2010 stuff still hits. Like the Gen Zers like Kanye, but I don't.
I think Gen Zers know Usher just because, I mean, he has had some bops, like "Oh My God" OMG was a pretty big song, and like he had those songs with Bieber, so most of them grew up with that song. Like they know Bieber was kind of like his protege. But like they had no clue who like Jermaine Dupri was. Like they probably had no clue really who Will I Am. I don't know if they know who Will I Am is, but they probably didn't really appreciate Ludacris or have any strong feelings about Alicia Keys, because she hasn't really had any songs in a long time.
There were some people who thought Kanye was Will I Am when he came out in that that weird
weird helmet,
and he kind of sounded a little bit like Kanye too. So I could see where if you didn't know who he was, you might get that confused. But that'd be wild if they brought Kanye back.
I saw Usher in concert in Las Vegas this year, or I guess last year, and he put on a hell of a show, so I was excited for it, and I was glad he brought out his skates and skated around, because he did that at the show for about 30 minutes on the concert I went to, which is pretty impressive to watch somebody rollerblade around and sing, speed skate around doing tricks and such. But I liked it. It just made me feel old.
A fine halftime show. I didn't have any big thoughts, positive or negative, about it. I mean, it was a good halftime.
Now the question is, what will be the halftime show next year in New Orleans?
Well,
Taylor Swift, Lil
Lil
Wayne,
Wayne in New Orleans. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, obviously,
maybe Lil Wayne and Drake. I don't
yeah. I
know.
mean,
I know Drake's not from New Orleans, of course, but that would just feels like I don't know if Lil Wayne's popular enough to get that show
yeah, I
right
don't
now.
think Lil Wayne would get the whole Super Bowl. Like he'd have to, but he'll
Right.
surely he'd be featured.
He'd have to have like Drake with him.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd sign up for that. Or Miley and Harry. You know, we thought we were going to get that this year. Vegas could have been just about anybody though, but I thought the game was good. You know, it seemed like the first half we were on track for a Rams Patriots Super Bowl. Like it was kind of a shitty first half, but it ended up being a really good game. And then, but my main takeaway from the Super Bowl is just, fuck Travis Kelce and his vaccine. I'm done with him.
The left wins, man. The left wins. I was just disappointed that Travis, when he had the microphone, didn't endorse Joe Biden. But I guess with how bad last week's press conferences went for Joe Biden, now's not the time. Now's not the time for Kelce to make that big declaration.
Yeah, Biden, you can smell the formaldehyde on him. I mean, he's not in good shape.
No, it was kind of telling too, just that the narrative shifted because the reporters were out to get him last week after everyone's kind of protected him, over the last couple of years. No one's been too tough on him, but then they're asking him questions and really making him look bad. And the media coverage, I thought, changed last week. So they started throwing around the 25th Amendment, which is basically, a president's incapacitated and unable to perform his duties and time to get replaced. So it's heating up, and, it's just February. So we got 9 months until the election. I'd imagine it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Biden jokes I told on Friday actually hit pretty good. I delivered them pretty good. I had a good set Friday. I actually recorded it. I was gonna send it to you and see what you thought, but then I thought I'd just tell you on the podcast about it, and then maybe I'll send it to you if you want. I don't know, but I actually recorded the audio of one, and it.
Are you going to cut it up and put it online anywhere?
I don't know.
Did you have just the audio or the video too?
So I haven't taken any video yet. A lot of the people at the mics, they do video themselves, but I haven't done that yet. I'm just trying to.
Does that make you feel
well,
chuggy?
No, I'm just trying to get my reps in before I do anything like that. Like I want to feel comfortable if I'm going to video it, But I thought my audio recording was pretty good. I'll send it to you and see what you think.
How many times have you listened to it?
3 or 4. I sent it to Brandon and Miles and Jamie, our little group text.
Oh, wow. Nice to know where I rank on the pecking order.
You were next on the list, but then I thought, well,
no, that's good. Well, 4th behind your 55-year-old woman friend. I'm glad that Jamie ranks ahead of me. No offense to her.
That's not what it's about. It's just that I happened to send it to them, and I thought,
I'm glad you trust her sense of comedy more. Rick Butler, I'm glad you trust his takes on comedy more than mine.
Rick Butler. Rick is not in that text group.
Okay. I thought you said
the
Rick.
only reason I didn't
Miles.
send it to you is because I thought, well, I'll just tell him about it on the podcast and see what he thinks. But I met after my set. I met one girl in the crowd liked it, so she liked it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a big titted Jew broad. She liked it.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Just what you like.
Curly hair?
Yeah.
Curly headed?
No, her hair wasn't curly.
She lost it for me.
She liked it and came up to me afterwards and said we need to have a writing sesh. So maybe we'll
you swap information?
Yeah. So I don't yeah.
Well,
she was an open micer too, so she said we could have a writing session, which I don't. Yeah,
was she funny?
Yeah, I mean, I liked her set. I thought she was very attractive, also.
Which is why you liked her set more than if she had been ugly,
funny.
probably.
She was funny, very talented.
Yeah, but if she was ugly, it wouldn't have been as funny.
There was another guy that went up during that. It was a full room Friday night. There were probably 20 people in there, and there was another guy that went up who was like a gay guy, like one of the very like feminine ones, you know. And he went up and he was talking about this place. Apparently, there's a place over off Santa Monica Boulevard they call Vaseline Alley, and it's like a gay hookup spot apparently. And he was talking about that, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." So I drove by there to investigate it, and sure enough,
How'd it go? Did anybody tickle your fancy?
But sure enough, there are dudes just lined up in this alleyway in their cars. So apparently these dudes just sit there in their cars, and the
So did you walk through it, or did you just
no. I just
circle
wanted to see what
around?
it was all about. I drove by. I did not hang around, but I just wanted to see what he was talking about, and it's a real thing. There's dudes just sitting in their car, and I guess the what they do is like they wait on the gay guys to come out of the bars right there, because Santa Monica Boulevard is like they call it Boys Town right there, like it's full of gays, and so I guess the guys just walk down the alley and look at the dudes in the cars to see if they approve or not, and if they do, they just get in the car and hook up with the dude. Pretty wild.
No one flashed their lights at you when you walked by?
I drove by them just to see.
Slowly with your window down?
Interesting, you know. The guy was talking about it, and I was like, I got to drive by this shit, see if it's real, and it's real.
How many cars are we talking about?
8 to 10, like just sitting there. And you drive by, and I would drive by and like look at the dudes, and they all have a look on their face of like, why are you looking at me? Like they know they're doing some seedy shit, you know.
So you're making eye contact with them.
But yeah,
I like the story about your big titty Jewish broad better.
I'm hoping to get my riding sesh going with her. I just thought those were two interesting things from the set Friday night, and then I kind of took the weekend off after that. I just watched.
Oh, you didn't want to ride the momentum too hard. You just my work here is done. I got a compliment from a girl, and I went through and I found me a place to get my rocks off if I start getting a little sexually frustrated.
First,
you discussed Frank, by the way. You discussed Frank. I don't know if you can hear him barking. He's disgusted. The fact that you would not get back up on Saturday and do another set.
It's Saturday's kind of an off day anyway. Like there are places you can do a set on Saturday, but for the most part, everybody takes Saturday off because that's like a feature day. You know, Saturday's when the real comedy shows happen. So, and then yesterday, Super Bowl.
What are your?
I was just saying yesterday's Super Bowl Sunday. So, like, you know,
thoughts on sending me the audio and us including it in the podcast at the end of the podcast.
The whole thing.
Well, how long is it?
It's 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, I'll put the whole thing, or you can tell me like, hey, the 90-second to 3-minute mark's the best part, and I don't have to do the whole 5 minutes, but I think the audience would want to hear that.
I'll send it to you, and you see what you think, and then
Well, I'm not going to listen to it. I'm just going to put it in the podcast, and then I'll listen to it afterwards.
What you think first before you put it in. I think it was a pretty decent 5 minutes. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the next Richard Pryor or anything, but I felt pretty good about it. You know, some of them you feel good about it. So, all right, we'll just there. Oh, hang on.
You got me?
There he is. There he is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I got my fucking Ethernet plugged right into the computer. I don't understand what's happening, but Tom and Bert, I'll maybe the camera comes back, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But what happened with Tom and Bert?
Well, people are upset with them. They're calling them like grifters, and they're like out. Yeah, people are out on YMH. Your mom's. I don't think it's so much YMH. That's the podcast Tom does with his wife Christina, and I think more so it's about Tom and Bert. But they put out a line of vodka, and they're trying to sell their own vodka, and people are like their last podcast. It was like an hour-long infomercial, and people are saying like Tom's out of touch
now.
Yeah, they're calling them sellouts and saying Tom's out of touch, and because he had this whole thing where he was poor shaming. Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh,
I don't listen to them. I mean, I went with you where I saw you there when we went to go see Tom Segura, and I thought it was fun. I mean, it was good. I respected it, but the Burt guy doesn't do anything for me, just personally.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that feel that way that they don't a lot of people put Bert kind of with Rogan and like that they don't think they're actually funny, that they got popular because of other reasons. Most people respect Tom more as a comedian, but I just thought it was interesting, kind of in the comedy world right now. They're trending for not so good reasons.
So it was just because of the sellout nature, not that people are like, hey, these guys aren't actually funny.
Yeah, and like Tom lost the weight too, so you always say that to me is like you got to be fat. You can't, like, if you lose the weight and become a skinny comedian, you're not as funny or whatever. So
Well, I think Tom was doing okay after the weight loss, but yeah, you can't be the guy that lost your weight and then are making fun of people for being poor.
yeah, he had this whole thing where he was talking about like people were saying that they felt bad when they watched Tom and like Tom and Bert bragging about their watches and their new cars and all this stuff, and that they've just gotten out of touch. And I think they've turned away, seems like a good bit of their audience. And I mean, they still obviously have a huge audience, but the last podcast had a lot of like majority dislikes and stuff on YouTube. So
Really?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if people care about that. I just found it interesting because I keep up with them. It's one of my favorite podcasts. So
Well, I do like when people start getting canceled.
yeah,
I,
I don't know if they're getting canceled, but
or yeah, maybe not canceled. I do like when people start turning on people, especially people that I don't really like
yeah,
or have strong feelings for. I mean, not saying I dislike them, but just don't have any strong feelings towards.
Jordan said that he saw Bert everywhere at the Super Bowl because they were there with like some of the Will Compton and some of those guys, and Jordan was saying that they were everywhere all week. He got to hang out there all week.
Yeah, it seemed kind of cool for Jordan.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, other than that, what have you been up to?
I went dancing on Saturday.
Oh,
I had a
Vaseline Alley.
no, that's your place. I went to a Valentine's Day party, and I had some woman that was anywhere from 42 to 52.
Nice.
She told me that she had never seen a man move his hips the way that I was. That's what she had told me. She came up and told me that.
I'd say that checks out.
She was like, "I've never seen man be able to move his hips the way that you are out there." Because
Were
I was
you?
having a great time. I mean, the DJ, shout out to Daryl. I didn't know him, but Daryl came up to me on the way out, and we had a mutual friend. And he's like, "You do video?" He's like, "Were you taking videos?" I was like, "Nah, bro, I didn't do no videos." He's like, "No, no. Like, do you put up pregame videos?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah. I do some of that in the past." He's like, "Yeah, okay, cool." And then he asked me if I knew a friend. I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, cool. I used to DJ with him." I was like, "All right, cool."
You should have kept saying no. No, that's not
Just
me.
no clue what you're talking about, Daryl.
It's not me. I swear.
But Daryl was spinning the 2010 the 2000 and 2010 hip hop, and I was out there on the dance floor having a great time.
Were you
And then
wearing your?
this woman came out and said that she had never seen her man move her hips the way his hips the way that I was.
Nice, nice. How was she in the sack?
She was wearing like a leather holster above like her belly button. It was weird. Like I had never seen anybody wear that, and she was wearing like leather pants and like yeah, I mean like a holster, but you couldn't really put anything on it. I don't know how else to describe it though. It looked like something you would wear as a police officer, but it went under her titties and kind of around her gut. She had a little bit of a gut. I mean, she was still okay, but she had a little bit of a gut, but it was like kind of pushing her stomach out because it was at the top of her stomach and it was like pushing the lower part of it out. I don't know. She didn't do it for me, but I appreciate the compliment. And then when we left, she got into this big ass truck with like rims that lit up. And I was like,
Oh,
okay, I don't know who the hell this woman is, but shout out to her if she's listening.
I'm gonna guess she's probably been to the Sturgis, South Dakota bike rally before. She sounds like that kind of broad.
Yeah, yeah, I would say that would kind of check out actually.
Yeah, she sounds like someone who would be at the. You remember that bar that used to be in West Knoxville? It was like, I guess it's still there. It was like a biker bar. We went there one time. I don't remember the name
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's when I got almost canceled. They almost canceled me there because I went into the girls' bathroom to try to use the bathroom.
Yeah,
Bull feathers.
yeah,
Yeah, they tried
yeah,
to cancel me. They tried to
yeah.
cancel me.
I remember that.
The way the bathrooms are set up, they're like dressing rooms, and like each one has a private stall at the door, but there's a waiting area. And one girl said, "Hey, yeah, come on in. You can stand here and you can go to the bathroom," because like there's only like one for the guys on the other side. There's a huge line, and women do this all the time. I've been to the bar plenty of times and seen women go into men's bathrooms. I don't know if you've seen that. I don't know. In California, that might be a whole different vibe there, but like they ready to cancel me. They're ready to charge me like sexual assault and everything. And one girl in the bathroom was like hysterically screaming. Mind you, she's not using the bathroom. She's fully dressed. She's fully dressed in the waiting room, right, waiting to go in. But she was already crying about like with her boyfriend or something. Then she starts screaming like bloody murder at me. And then the bartender was like, "You gotta go." And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "I didn't know what the hell was going on." And that was bad. That was a bad night. That's the last time I went to Bull Feathers, I believe.
No, security. No, it's a misunderstanding. I was just trying to see some women peeing. What's the problem?
That's not what happened. Again, it's a dressing room area. It's a single stall. The door's closed. No. You couldn't even like see their feet. Like it's a full ass, like basically just a full size door.
Oh, okay. Well, if you couldn't see their feet, then you probably weren't up to anything crazy then.
Right. It's like I could stick my head under and like peek up. Wasn't anything like that, but yes, I would imagine that woman frequents that bar quite a bit, actually.
Peeping John. Do you go in the women's bathroom, like if you have to use the bathroom, like in a not in a bar, but like in a normal setting, and there's just like a gas station or whatever, and there's two bathrooms, and
Yeah, I have before. Now, not often, like, but if it's like completely deserted and like the men's is like closed for cleaning or something, and like I feel like it's a single stall. I did this at the gas station maybe 3 months ago. There's only two bathrooms, and one was locked up, and like no one else is in this gas station. And it was a reasonable expectation that no one would be coming in the 45 seconds I had to piss.
yeah.
And
Well,
I always make sure I always make sure I pick up the seat. I don't make a mess or anything. I'm respectful, but yeah, I went in and out. I did do that, and just pray that no one walked in.
I pee all over the seat because equality, equal rights. So I make sure to do that both in the men's and women's. But I imagine that it's different if it's like a single restroom too versus like multiple stalls, you know. Like I feel like it's better. It's okay if you do it if it's just a single toilet.
Right, exactly. But I have seen plenty of times like women just go in the men's bathroom in bars.
Yeah. Well, they have a different standard.
I mean, I'm fine with them, getting some perks because of, sexual assault, like not being able to like walk and things,
Sure.
being afraid every time they get in an Uber. So I'm fine with making the concession that they get to go to our bathroom every now and then at the bar. I'm fine with it. And I understand that maybe I shouldn't have went into that waiting room to use the bathroom, but hey, I was drunk. What can you do?
Yeah. Yeah. What are you going to do? That'd be a good defense in court. I was drunk. What's the problem?
I think it would hold up.
I don't think it does. Your video still hasn't come back, by the way. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. I can see
Okay.
you. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I don't know.
Well, I don't see you, but maybe your video's still recording though, so we'll see when it's over. But I've been doing my keto. I've been sticking to that pretty good, except for there were a couple days that I didn't do it, but I've for the most part I've been sticking to it. This weekend though, I did find a new pizza place. I went to Joe's Pizza, and I just got the personal pan. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, a place called Joe's Pizza. This is the personal pan size.
That seems very huge. I don't think that's a personal pan. I think that's an XL.
Yeah.
Was it yummy?
Yeah, it was very good.
This podcast is brought to you by Joe's Pizza in Los Angeles.
There's really not. I've tried like what people call the best pizza places here, and unless I'm missing something, which I definitely am, because there's like a million restaurants here, so I don't have a good sample size yet. But honestly, I would say at this point, just in my experience of pizza here, I would say Knoxville has better pizza than Los Angeles.
So I bit the knee I bit the knee to the Chiefs, and now you're biting the knee that, you know what? Maybe Knoxville pizza's not so bad.
No, it's never what I said. I never said Knoxville pizza was bad. I like Knoxville pizza. I said it's not New York pizza, which I still.
Pizza's pizza. Pizza's pizza is what it's
No,
coming
no, no,
around on.
no, no, no.
We're
You're
getting
still
close. It's a slippery slope. You're getting there though. You're starting
no,
to slide down that slope.
no. You're still totally wrong about that. Like New York pizza is a different level, but I got to say though, per capita though, I've always said I think per capita Knoxville has some really good pizza spots. And I haven't found anything in LA that, I mean, Joe's was good. Granted, I've only tried like 4 pizza places and there's,
4
thousands.
pizza places in a month is kind of a lot though.
Not for me. I mean, because pizza's my go to cheat meal. Like if I'm not going to eat well, I'm going to eat pizza, you
Well,
know?
yeah, I know, but eating pizza 4 times in a month is a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, probably for the average sized person. Yeah, that's probably true. But I'm hoping to find a good spot somewhere eventually. There's got to be something decent here, you know. I don't know. The food out here is different because like some of it is extremely good. Like the Hispanic food and the Asian food, obviously, is incredible here. But a lot of the other types of food are not. Like I've eaten at a few of these diners since I've been here, and I went to one and got biscuits and gravy, and I got to tell you that was a mistake. They do not know how to do biscuits and gravy here, which I should have known that going in probably. But I thought, L.A. biscuits and gravy, I should try it just to see how it compares. Did not compare at all to the South.
So, like, how many laps did you make around Vaseline Alley?
I drove by twice. I
Did you roll
circled
the
the
window
block.
down at all?
No, I didn't roll the window down. I was not there for any entertainment. All right. I told you about the place where the hookers are. If I needed to get my rocks off, I could go to one of the hookers. I don't have to go to some dude in an alley on Vaseline. I went by there because I thought, I'm curious to see what's going on.
You're
You know,
curious. Would you
no,
say that you're bi curious?
God damn it, that was the wrong word to use. No, I was like, is this place real? Because the guy was talking about it during his set, and he did his whole 5 minutes on it. I was like, that's pretty wild. I got to go check this out.
So you heard about all the dudes getting down. You're like, whoa! I gotta go see what they're talking about. I gotta go see what it's like.
You know me. I'm an explorer. I,
I know. Yeah, you're. Well, I wouldn't say that you're. I wouldn't say that you're gay. I don't think you're gay, and I don't think you're bisexual. But I would describe you as trisexual. I do think you'd be willing to try anything once.
Trisex. Oh, like TRY sexual.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Oh, okay.
Work that. Save that one for Thursday.
Yeah, you should have saved that.
I'm not bisexual, but I ain't all the way straight. I'm more like trisexual.
Sexuality is a spectrum, is what
That's
they
what
say.
they say.
And some guys rank further on one end than they do another end. It's like how they talk about gender is a spectrum, and it's like I understand that. Like I'm not some big lib, but I'm also
Enough of this liberal bullshit is about what I was going to say.
ignorant of like I get what they're saying with the whole spectrum thing. It's like on the gender thing. I feel like I'm very very masculine. I don't think I rank very far on the femme side. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean,
And then the sexuality just kind of, it's a sliding scale for you. Just kind of depends.
no. I mean, Timothy Chalamet. I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm pretty well straight. But
Did the comedian look anything like Timothy Chalamet? That was talking about Vaseline Alley.
no, not really. He was one of those like, what's the proper like a twink is what he
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what it's not an offensive term. I mean, I think that's what you call them.
I don't know if it's offensive or not. I think it is a little offensive though. If I
Oh,
was guessing, I would say that some would be offended by that.
who?
The ones that fit the description, probably.
I didn't say anything at all negative about them.
But hold on, I would say that some would consider Timothy Chalamet to be in that description.
I don't know. What do you mean? Just like skinny?
Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of twinks.
Yeah. Well, now you said it.
He's kind of petite.
Now you've said it.
Well, you brought it up. You said it wasn't offensive, so if I get canceled, I'm blaming you.
Well,
At least
that's
my face isn't going to be on camera saying it. I'll say it was AI.
yeah. I don't know if your face will be on or not. We'll have to wait and see. I had some other notes. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
No, we hit everything I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I'm listening to what you got. Go ahead.
I had a couple of questions for you. These are just a couple topics that I saw. Because I get the Reddit emails, like this is trending on
The
Reddit or
the
whatever.
relationship hypotheticals and things of that nature.
Yeah, just like
Sure,
it's
I got you. Go ahead.
a forum for discussion. There was a discussion on Reddit that was about quitting jobs on the spot. So there were people in there talking about things that their managers have done or reasons that they would quit a job on the spot. And there were some pretty interesting submissions on there. I was just wondering if you have ever quit a job on the spot. Like if anything was ever so bad that you just like didn't go back.
Well, I mean, me and my dad got in plenty of fights on the farm where that led to me quitting / getting fired on the spot. But I haven't had a lot of real jobs. But I did work 2 nights in a factory midnight shift one summer while I was in college. And I left for my lunch break and just didn't go back. But there was no like big blow up. I just was like, I'm done. It was like my second and a half night. I worked 2 nights full. And then on the third night, the moment I got out for lunch, I was like, you know what? I'm just leaving. But the joke was on me because I didn't get paid for those first 2 days. So I worked for free. So it was kind of I fucked it up situation.
You
I
said that was
lost
in a
like
factory?
$200. Yeah, I was like it was like some local factory in town. But I decided to do summer school instead. So like I had a class at 8 a.m. So I was like, I get out at 7. I can't really like make it back up and go to class at 8. And I needed to catch up on my hours. So I just kind of used that as an excuse to be like, fuck this, I'm out.
Were you depressed by the workers around you who like had made a career of that, or what was it that made you not want to go back?
Honestly, again, I needed the hours. I needed the hours in school to catch up for what I didn't do the semester before. But also, I made a bad mistake, and it was a really, really bad mistake, because we had to wear steel-toe boots
Ah,
to do it, and I cheaped out and bought really cheap steel-toe boots, so my feet just really hurt. I bought cheap boots, and my feet really hurt because I was standing for 8 to 10 hours, and it was just a miserable experience.
yeah, yeah. That blue collar life is it's
Yeah.
tough, man. Like I guess eventually your body gets used to it, and you figure out how to work and how to make it work. But I had a very similar thing like that. I only lasted one night it was a chicken plant back in Arkansas. I worked one night in there, man, and I was loading boxes of frozen chicken like onto a forklift. That was my whole job. They came down the conveyor belt, and I was at the very end of the line, and my job was to load like they were like 50-pound boxes of frozen chicken, and I had to stack them left and right. They showed you how to stack them to where they would go correctly on the forklifts, and I would load a forklift, and then the forklift would take them off, and I'd load another one, and he'd take them off, and I lasted one night. I was like, I'm not going back, and I didn't even tell anybody I wasn't going back. I just didn't go back.
Did you get paid for your one day of work?
Nope, nope.
Yeah.
It was just like yours. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's like a thing that they have in the when you sign up, or that you got to work
No,
a certain amount of time.
everyone told me I could get it. I just didn't want to go in there and talk to the manager. I just didn't want
Oh,
to go in there and have to answer, because I did kind of know the manager. At least I had an idea of who he was from just, I don't know, just from being around town. And I didn't want to go in there because he probably thought like, hey, this guy's not somebody that's just going to do this, that's going to quit. He seems respectable. I
yeah,
know his family. Like, he's going to be a good worker. And instead, 2 nights, I was like, nah, I'm done. I went out
yeah.
for my lunch break and just decided to go on home.
Oh, so you didn't even get through the shift the
No,
second
not,
time,
not,
the
not on
second
the
night?
third one. Not on the third one. I worked 2, and then the third one, I don't think I finished my shift.
Okay, so you made it 2.5. Well,
Yeah.
that's longer than I made. I did one day or one night. It was an overnight thing too.
Yeah, mine was overnight as well.
Mine just like it depressed me for some reason. Just like being around people that they that
You
not,
thought you were better than them?
no, it's not that I felt that I was better than them, but it was just like they were so comfortable
It
with that.
scared you straight. It scared you to be like, "Hey, I don't want to do this with my life. I'm going to go work really hard."
I guess so. I
No,
guess that
no,
was
it didn't, because I don't feel like you. I don't feel like you really locked into the worker's mentality until about 3 months ago or 2 months ago.
well. At least made me where I knew I had to go get a college degree, which maybe I'm not doing anything with that now, but at the time it kind of motivated me in that way. I think because I was in college at the time, but and then I had a couple other jobs where I just like I worked at McDonald's and Hardee's, both of those like a week tops. But I'll always empathize with those people that work fast food because they take a lot of shit, and that I'm telling you that's hard work. Like those people they're on their feet all day, and they I know you don't have to have a lot of qualifications to do that kind of work, but I mean I would say they work just as hard as like a waitress or someone in a bigger restaurant washing dishes or whatever, and they don't get tips, they're getting the fucking 7.25 an hour or whatever they get, and it's hard work.
They get like $15 an hour now.
Well, in California they're about to raise it to 20. There's a thing that's coming through maybe like in March or April, like a new law they're passing here where I think where um, fast food workers will make $20 an hour.
Boy's got a lot of quit in him. That's what they've always said about him.
That boy's got a lot of quit in him.
Well, good luck the rest of the week. Good luck on your sets. I hope that you can find the right outfit that will get you accepted into Vaseline Alley if you take another stroll through there, just to quote unquote check things out.
I'm not going back. I'm not going back after what I saw. It's like De Niro at the end of Heat when he tells Pacino he's holding his hand. He says, "I told you I was never going back." That's me on Vaseline Alley. I just thought it'd be an interesting thing for the podcast. You got
for
to
sure. I think you should take it take it to another level, and in the name of content, like the end of Heat, go hold someone's hand and just have a little conversation with them.
I'm never going back.
You're a front guy. That's all you got to tell them. I'm not a back guy. I'm a front guy.
I'll
talk to you Thursday. Lord knows what will happen. I went and spent another $40 on Ethernet cords and all this shit, and the internet went out on me still. How does the internet go out whenever I'm hardlined in? How the fuck does that happen?
I don't know, but I try to look at it from a positive angle because I think this was a pretty good podcast, and I think that for the most part, everything was clear.
We ain't got no camera.
Well, you might not be on camera. I don't know, but I think things are improving. So keep the faith on that.
Okay. Thank you for the words of encouragement.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm 400. I'm at this point like $575 into this podcast, so I'm glad that it's improving. Maybe by the 15th time we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, we'll keep improving. Did you listen to Miles's new podcast?
I listened to a clip of it.
Yeah, Miles and Rick did a podcast. They sound very good, like audio wise, because they're doing
they're doing it right next to each other. I did text him about that and asked how they're doing their audio. He said they're just doing it in his studio.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously our audio is going to suffer a little bit because we're doing it remote, but I think things are improving. I think
I might need to just call Spectrum and be like, look, whatever internet I'm paying for, I need to up the speed. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just need to pay for higher internet.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
That's it.
But anyway, good talk. We'll talk on Thursday and fuck Travis Kelce.
See you, bye.
See ya.